Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Saturday, February 28th. Welcome to the show where we turn our production time back to 10 p.m. United Kingdom time to go ahead and welcome in our audience from across the pond. Man, there is a bunch of stuff going. Well, we got Aaro putting disclosure at risk. Yes. Yeah, it's a mess. And we got a war going on that's throwing a lot of other monkey wrenches in there, but a lot of cool videos to watch. It will be covering the stuff as it comes in, my friends. All right, let's go ahead and welcome in our audience. Who in the heck do we have out there? All right, in the audience right now, I want to welcome in Andy W. We've got B. Craig Smith is out there along with Dan Lareb. Good to see a Digger Dog. We got Eliza Teal. Who else is out there? A bunch of people are popping up as I'm reading through the list. Enoch, welcome, my friend. Fernando, Firefly, Ghost Fixer, Kane, good to see you, my friend. Mia Laura, Max Metals in the audience as well. Niles Guy, one of our resident pit bulls, good to see you, my friend. PC Anderson's out there along with Roni Deal. We got Rob, good to see you. Sam, Scooby Dooby Gooby, Shelly Montgomery, Steve Hines is in the audience along with Steve Mateo. I see Super Unknown, my friend. We got Swan, Wee Beastie, Weedlander, and Zerilli. How about that? Small audience, but you know what? Got a bunch of people piling in as this time goes on. Let's jump into the studio. Welcome our dear friend.
Whole crew in today, Thomas.
There we go. Mike. How the hell are you?
Doing well. Yeah, you're right. We have a lot to talk about today. It's going to be an interesting show.
Oh, yeah. It reminds us of the days when we were covering the stuff that was going on with the drones. And more importantly, when we had the UFO shutdowns. We're pretty good at finding the content, bringing it up. And we've tested out all of our systems. Everything should be ready to roll here, Mike. Our top story, as we were talking about earlier, this one took me by surprise. Oh, fuck. Disclosure's fucked once again. I hope not, but let's get to it. All right. Coming from the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. Oh, fuck. Aaro is working in close coordination with the White House and across federal agencies to consolidate existing UAP records collections and facilitate the expeditious release of never-before-seen UAP information. Mike, this is like the reporting on stuff that was passed like 3 or 4 years ago that Aaro should have been doing on a regular basis, or at least all the different agencies should have been gathering up all their legacy UAP records, right? And delivering them to the National Archives.
Exactly.
Which is the same place that Paulina Luna, oh God, has said, confirming that that's where the records are going to be going and shared. Oh boy.
Her track record for information, though, I got to tell you, is not exactly ideal.
Right, but it aligns, though. That's the scary part, my friend.
I know. But we'll see where it goes.
All right, let me, getting an error here. Someone complaining about, I probably got your voice a little too loud here. Let me just get up my audio mixer and hope it doesn't crash the system. Oh, of course it did. No, it didn't. Okay, let's take this, bring it down a little bit. All right, let's get to this video here coming to us from the DoD. Released 21 hours ago. I'm sorry, folks. Let's listen and we'll deal with it. There we go.
Last week, via True Social, President Trump directed the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, UAPs, and UFOs. The Department of War's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or Aaro, is working in close coordination with the White House and across federal agencies to consolidate existing UAP records collections and to facilitate the expeditious release of never-before-seen UAP information. Since the office was established, Aaro has made progress to make UAP information available and transfer those records to the National Archives in accordance with federal law. We welcome the President's initiative to supercharge these efforts and make UAP information available to the public as soon as possible. That's all we have for you this week. Thanks for watching.
Holy crap, Mike, I didn't meet you for a second there. This is not good news. Aaro has been the catch-all agency to go ahead and collect information, shut down the truth, anything that has anything to deal with anything that's not prosaic, they shut it down. And it's just, I can't
thank Kirkpatrick for that.
No,
That was the policy he installed in Aaro.
No. Remember, we've got the same policy with Kozlowski right now. We can blame those bureaucrats, right? Or the reality is there is. Oh God, no, we're not. I need to put on the chat. Someone put NASA in charge.
They're taking orders from Susan Goff. We know.
Well, no, not even Susan Goff. It's their bosses. She's just a public affairs officer, and she does a great job at it. But there's people who are much higher up in the DoD whose names shall not be known, who are actually directing what Aaro's policies are, what they're doing, and where they're going. Remember, we used to have that one Reed guy, right? Gary Reed.
Yeah, Gary Reed, yeah.
Who was known for chasing the skirts of many women and being a pig. For that. Yeah, he did. But, we'll see Jim Carrey in a second. Oh, my God, what's going on out there, Mike?
I don't know. It's a lot to talk about.
Oh, I know. So, I don't know where this kind of takes disclosure and puts us at this point. If Aaro's going to be heading this up, I certainly hope not.
Oh, no, we're screwed if we're waiting on Aaro to bring the truth out.
Does this mean we're not going to get the executive order that's really required? They're going to try and take it under the existing policies that they have in place? I certainly hope not, because that means we're not going to get shit. It sounds like the drone response 2.0.
Yeah, that's not a good sign if we get the drones 2.0. Not good at all. So if this is falling into the lap of Aaro, of all places, I wouldn't expect any real information out of them anytime soon.
No. Well, as we talked about last night, Luna did go ahead and say that there were supposed to be about 20 documents that she was going to get out by the end of this week, which more promises made, promises not kept.
Right. Not the first time for Luna. We've covered this for years now with her.
Oh gosh, yes. I need to see if this one is real. Yeah, okay, I'll take this one. I'm just getting a more feed put together for what we've got coming up. I've got a bunch of videos out there with what's going on, and it's just a lot of stuff. I've got stuff to deal with UFOs at this point. I want to go ahead and get this stuff out of the way. That's not the one. We got Timber Chet talking about stuff. We've got that one. We've got a bunch of stuff. In New York going crazy. Seattle's going crazy at this point. No, not that one. Let's get further down. No, not this one yet. We're almost there. All right. As I'm getting to more UFO stuff, this is for our friends in the UK. This is a citizen of the United Kingdom who really speaks to how we feel about this particular situation, what's going on. And this is coming from GB News. It's a great one, and I agree 100% with what this gentleman is saying. Let's bring this up. Here we go.
I suppose like a lot of other people in the country, the last 14 months, I've felt like we're all at the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. I mean, it is. We're under this reign of terror by this dreadful socialist communist junta. And I mean, we look at the lunatic behaviour week after week after week. And when I heard the bit about Gibraltar today, I thought, no, it's like, whenever you think they sink low, they find somewhere to sink lower. So my question is at what point in the future will the communist Starmer and his cronies be tried for treason?
Right. Wow. This is obviously the channel of free speech. Barry, would you?
Let's go to you, Andy. Andy, what do you think?
Well, all I can say, I don't know who that gentleman was, but I'm raising a glass to him.
Yeah.
Agree 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of crazy stuff going on in the UK right now. This is one of the things I kept around because we like covering what's going on in the United States and Canada, all across Europe, and it's just a freaking mess out there. So let's, on this news, let me get back here until I scroll some more. We don't want to see that. God, I've got the UFO stuff down here. Yeah, there's so many things. All right, so Neil deGrasse Tyson. We love him, don't we? No.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Says he would listen to insiders and whistleblowers in the Age of Disclosure documentary over presidents. Who cares what the president has to say? The president, if there's a cover-up, is going to be in on the cover-up. Wow. He really sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Let's get to this one, folks, and enjoy it. Let's get back to here. All right, let's play this clip. All right, here. Volume's up. Rewound all the way. Let's play it.
Okay, I since no one in government has presented an alien, I did not immediately think the government has aliens. By the way, the notion that there's some kind of a cover-up, how can you continue to think that when in the film, in the documentary, Disclosure, I don't want to confuse the documentary with the Steven Spielberg movie that's about to come out. The Spielberg movie is called Disclosure Day. And so Age of Disclosure, in that documentary, there's a no-end train of people talking about aliens in the locked box in the shed. And so if they're talking about it and they're insiders and they're whistleblowers, then who cares what the president says? These people are on the inside. So they're the ones who I'm going to listen to, not the president, especially since the president, if there is a cover-up, is going to be in on the cover-up. And someone who's sneaking information out is not. And so the fact that people listen to what presidents say as though it is the truth, I've never understood that.
Hold on a second there. President isn't saying anything. Except that I want to bring the facts out that are within the different departments of and agencies of the executive branch. Right, Mike?
Right.
So it's not
correct.
It's not, his true blue colors are showing there. Mike, there's a lot of people out there that I've seen on X and other social media platforms where anything that comes out of the president's mouth, they don't want to believe it because he's Donald Trump. And clearly this is one of those instances. But the reality of it is we do need that executive order to come around in order to take UFO disclosure and move things forward from based on where it's stuck right now.
Which is probably why former President Obama was the first one to break the news about the aliens being real.
And he's done it several times. He's walked up to the line many times, but he's never crossed it. I can use the blue line here on my mic, but this time he did. And the president took it as an opportunity to go ahead and use that as a potential excuse to bring out the truth because he doesn't want our former president, Barry Obama, to get in trouble. Great reason for me. Yeah. I'll take it. Any reason.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just bring out the truth.
So he wants to listen to whistleblowers who don't have proof, but the president wants to bring out the proof. Yeah. Media folks, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a problem. Okay, get past that one and get past this one. Leave that one out. There's another big kaboom. No more about Carney, Many show. Let's get past this. All right, someone brought it up. Let's bring it up. What the fuck happened to Jim Carrey? Is this the same? Is this the same Jim Carrey, or is this a body double?
Oh God.
Even the eyes are even a different color.
Are you sure this is not AI?
No, it's not. There's a bunch of videos of different people who all recorded this schmuck. It kind of sounds like him, but there's impersonators out there who sound more like Jim Carrey than Jim Carrey these days. So yeah, crazy That's stuff. True. Well, maybe he's been hanging out with Peter Thiel and those people who are working on reversing aging.
He doesn't look better than his younger picture. He looks worse.
Yeah.
opinion.
Now, someone just said it's a Botox double. It could be a famous imposter. Either way, this was sweeping on X yesterday, and it's just something, well, it's worth bringing up. It's pop culture that we're dealing with right now. What the fuck is this?
Yeah. Well,
Okay. Okay. Not that one. Where'd it go? Not that one. Here we go. What the fuck is this? It's in Florida. Go figure.
oh my God.
What's he shooting at a lizard, apparently. All right, more of the Jim Carrey. All right. Oh, shit. Yes. Oh, shit. NASA administrators said the agency has no secret alien files to declassify and is unaware of any extraterrestrial information that would be of interest to the public. Apparently, he hasn't gone to the same place that, what's his name? From the Honeymooners.
Ralph Cramden?
Well, not
Ed Norton?
no. Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason went with President Nixon. This Adderall is not working how it's supposed to. I will say that at this point. Jackie Gleason went with President Nixon down to Goddard Space Center, went to a facility multiple stories underground, and saw frozen aliens.
Right.
Yeah.
That was back in 73 or 74.
Yeah, it was. You know, so anything else down here? All right, we've got another clip here of Paulina Luna over on the Megyn Kelly show. This might be an older one, but let's just go ahead and play this clip talking about the reality of what's been going on with UFOs and disclosure and how there's been pushback on it. Let's go ahead and play this clip. Here we go, folks.
Out of the blue, without having sat through the hearing or watched the latest documentary, you think, is everybody nuts? Like, are they all in on it? Is it like me? But I've heard you talk about this so many times, matter of factly on Joe Rogan and in the halls of Congress. I believe you, and I believe you believe it. And having watched this documentary, now I believe it too. Boy, if it's a lie, they got a lot of storied scientists to spew a bunch of nonsense at risk to their own careers and reputations about it. You've run the hearings. You've talked to countless guys who have been investigating this for years. What's your conclusion?
Look, we, especially from a national security perspective, want to know.
They want to know the truth on what's going on out there. Oh, wait a minute. She did say the word national security. Remember, folks, this is that show. If you hear the word national security, it's your job to go ahead and do your part and take a shot. Right, Mike? Yeah, here we go.
Absolutely, yeah. It's anytime national security comes up, you got to take a shot.
Take a shot or a bite of a sandwich.
Whatever's handy.
Exactly.
Why it is that if these things or if whatever this is real, why is it, first of all, that members of Congress who serve as the oversight authority for the civilian arm, really the American people, are being denied access to the videos and photos of what we displayed in that hearing?
Right. And Luna just said earlier this week, there's videos out there that she got from the FBI that she wants to go ahead and get shown to the American people by today. Well, hasn't happened yet, but yes, show us the beef. Exactly. I'll talk, no action. Hopefully it'll be more than that. Let's listen some more.
Megan, Representative Burleson had that video dead dropped to him. It was scrubbed with any data that could point to who gave the information to him. But that is a confirmed real video. And as you were seeing, that is a type of footage that, unless it is basically leaked to us, we're being denied access to, specifically out of the Department of War. Now, this goes way back.
And I think she's talking about that video from Yemen here, Mike, that was shown at the last hearing.
Yeah, the Hellfire video. Yeah, it was over in Yemen. They were shooting down drones.
Yeah, exactly. Right. All right, here we go. Let's play some more.
Back to last Congress, actually, when myself, Representative Gates, and Representative Burchett had actually done a field hearing following up on two whistleblowers, or a few whistleblowers that had come forward to Representative Gates' office that were pilots at Eglin Air Force Base, alleging that the U.S. government was covering this up. Of course, when you hear something like that, you're like, all right, you've seen this in sci-fi films or heard rumors about this, but never have dealt with it directly. And then basically, in a nutshell, Representative Gates, Burchett, and I went out to Eglin, and of course, they tried to cancel the meeting. We got the meeting back on. And then once we were there, we were actually denied access. We got into a massive fight with the base commander. We went in and out of the skiff. And then
remember, the base commander, Mike, during the meeting was called out of the meeting and excused himself. During that time that he was excused, he was put on unannounced leave. And when they came back and said, I'm sorry, he can't come back to the meeting, they said, why? Well, he's on leave.
Right. He left the room like he had to take an urgent call, but then he never came back.
Exactly. That's the kind of shenanigans the military, the DoD has been playing. And that's why we're so concerned about frickin' Aaro getting involved again with the president's request. The president's request. It's just... yeah, swamp dwellers. Exactly. Let's play some more.
Ultimately, without saying too much, part of how we got some of the information that we did is I actually had asked one of the witnesses to draw for me the photograph or the image of this thing that was essentially being denied to us. So they're denying us the actual imagery, but the military officer was able to actually draw it for me, of which I'm sure they didn't think that we were going to ask them to do that, but we did. And again, even dating back to my own military experience, there was one point when I was stationed at Portland Air National.
All right, she's talking about Portland, how they went and, get to that point. But, it's been a cover-up. There's a lot of events that have happened, especially when she was based out of Portland. Let's see how this goes, but it's just... Tim Burchett, we need to get a quote, an audio clip of him calling out it's a cover-up.
Guard prior to leaving active duty, and at that point in time there was an airspace incursion that had taken place that some of the pilots had been talking about. One specifically, I said, what is this thing specifically? Are you able to describe it? He couldn't. He got kind of spooked talking about it, and that's the in my opinion, he definitely ran into a UAP or saw a UAP or they're chasing one. But that is not the first time that we've had pilots in fear of losing their flight status for coming forward with this information. So I kind of started as a skeptic, but after leading into the investigations, after seeing some of the footage like you saw in that hearing, after talking to a number of people, not, people that are driving Winnebagos wearing tinfoil, but legitimate, credible people, it definitely seems real.
Mike, that comes to the point of you have to be skeptical in what's going on for the main reason that there's so much bullshit that comes into play on a regular basis. Even today, more fake videos being put out, a lot of fake statements being happened. You have to be skeptical of everything that you hear. You have to have a high watermark if you want to say it. Anything below this is bullshit. Anything above it is, let's take it with a grain of salt. Let's look for more proof, but it could be something. Daryl, go ahead.
What is her beef with Winnebagos? I don't get that reference. People wearing tinfoil hats and driving Winnebagos?
Escape from which mountain? They drove to Winnebago, remember?
Independence Day.
I guess not.
They were all in Winnebagos. And the crazy one had a big Winnebago, if you remember, by Area 51.
Yeah, but Eddie Albert was initially driving the Winnebago in Escape from Witch Mountain, which turned out to be an alien thing. It wasn't witches, it was aliens. Remember that from Disney back in the early 70s? You were a kid then, Mike.
Yeah, it was from, I remember that movie.
Yeah, but
Disney movie.
Exactly.
Would that have been on Sunday night on the Wonderful World of Disney?
Yes.
Yes, it would have been, yeah.
Maybe
initially at the theaters, but then, the Wonderful World of Disney. Yep, got to remember that
Channel
one.
7.
Yeah,
So
ABC.
Andy wants us to put up a poll, Thomas.
Sure.
Who would you rather sleep with, Megyn Kelly or Paulina Luna?
How about who is hotter?
Whatever. Either one.
All right, let's get to it. All right. Start a poll. Pick one. Megyn. Is it Megan or Megean?
Megyn.
Who is it?
And yes, you cannot gag them. They have to talk. There we go, folks. Sorry. It was given. Audience, pick one. You get a chance. Wow, look at this. Paulina Luna initially jumping ahead in the polls. 86%, 74%, 20. There we go. We've got 21 votes in. Let's see where our audience takes this. Where are you going to take it, audience? Are you going more for Megan or are you going more for Anna? Wow. That's one heck of a question, but it looks like, we've got 33 votes in so far. Paulina Luna is winning at 82%. And that goes for the guys and the ladies. It doesn't matter what you want to think, but who would you rather be with? Pick one. Who do you like better? Well, I think Paulina Luna has scooped this one, my friend. Could it have anything to do with her election photos of her in a Star-Spangled Banner swimsuit?
Yeah, when she was working as a stripper in the bar before she got elected.
Yeah.
People remember that, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, all right. I didn't put up a timer. We've got 46 votes in. Sorry, Megan, you have no chance of winning this one. 81%. Everything is going towards Paulina Luna. I will call this poll right now early because there is no chance for Megan. Sorry, Megan, we love you, girl. But there you go. So there is the poll they are dancing from. Whoops, did I say that one? Yes, I did. All right, so Chris Bledsoe talking about the drone incursion.
Yeah.
Over on the basement of the Y-Files. I still have my... Yeah, let's see where this goes.
When the drone thing happened, and they weren't drones. They were not drones at all. And we know that they weren't drones. They know that they weren't drones. Shit. They were orbs, right? And it's the very thing I predicted. I didn't predict it. I just told...
No, he prophesized it. Just even the way he talks.
What I was told, that when Iran and Israel go to exchanging
a word from the prophet Bledsoe.
Missiles, then the orbs would start appearing out of the sea, out of the land, out of the sky. And they were firing at one another in November. And what happened November, December.
But he did say stuff was going to be going on between Israel and Iran, but he'd said the orbs would come out of the oceans, out of the skies, and stop all the nuclear weapons. Currently, they have not stopped any of the fire from our F-35s, from our B-2 bombers, from the Golden Dome. Nothing. There has been no intervention going on. So, yeah.
Orbs appeared everywhere, so the government freaked out. And they started sending their own drones up, big ones, and leave them for days hanging around. All that was done to confuse the people.
So you're a pilot.
Yeah.
I've been shown from another pilot an OTAM report that showed in advance all these areas where drones would be. But the government never told us that. They never said, relax,
Okay. Show the proof, please. If you've got the NOTAMs, they should be public. You should be able to bring it out, especially in post, and show it. We got the NOTAMs after the drones had started, and they shut down all the air traffic. They shut down all drones. They shut down everything in these areas after the drone stuff started. Because remember, it wasn't in December. It started back on November 16th when we started covering here first on Disclosure Tonight.
We got it. It's
right.
us. They kept us confused and frightened.
Right.
What would be the purpose of that? Why frighten the population?
I'll tell you why. Because I was sitting in a restaurant with some people from the Pentagon, Congress, and others in the Capitol Grill in Washington, D.C. this past summer. And after that happened with the...
We're not going to talk about the point where he said he can go ahead and call them at any time. He went outside for 3 hours with Eric Burleson and nothing showed up? No, that's not the case, I don't think. It doesn't sound like it.
This year, the thing happened in November, right? December, but this past summer.
Yep.
And or spring. It was not too far after that we were meeting. And they wanted to know my opinion about this. I said, I told you, you start shooting missiles with Iran, you're gonna get it. And they're like, oh my God, this is catastrophic disclosure.
Catastrophic disclosure. Guess what? We started shooting missiles with Iran, and what didn't show up, Mike? Nothing. Orbs.
UAP, nothing showed
UAP,
up.
nothing got in the way.
Right.
So that term
they're not intervening.
No, they're not. So, all right, let's move on. Why is Wi-Fi only? Wi-Fi's for truth. All right, so we've got. Oh God. This is this is classic. I'll just read it. Just for our Canadians out there, we love you. We wish you the best. There's a lot of really big. Oh my God, I just feel for you. Brookfield, which is a investment firm in the United States, purchased a British Columbia hydro dam and wants to divert all the energy it generates to the United States. The Liberals falsely claim the regulator approved this diversion of energy. So much for Buy Canadian. My God, what a mess. All right, we've already got that one covered. No, I don't need to cover him on that one. Anything else here? We've covered that one. All right, Tim Burchett says military officials have been briefed and the possibility that aliens have underwater bases, which means that Tim Burchett was also briefed on this one. Here we go, folks.
You've previously said on our program you believe that there are underwater bases that are being accessed through this transit from extraterrestrial beings. Given how many of these sightings are from naval aircraft and naval vessels off the coast of San Diego, is that where you believe some of these underwater bases are likely to be located?
Yeah, if they're there, there's 5 areas in our waters that I've been told by military officials and former military officials that they would have to be, because outside of quantum physics, there's no way something can travel light years. I mean, how are you going to pack for that? You know, I about have to take a pickup truck if I want to travel from Knoxville to Nashville just for all the food and supplies I got to take. So honestly, Matt, light years, that's just out of our realm unless we talk quantum physics, and that's kind of voodoo to me anyway. I don't really understand it at all. I know what they're telling me. I just don't. It's hard for me to grasp. So something would have to be here, either for Millennium or a base of some sort, and that's where it would have to be. That's what I've been told. I hope we get to the bottom of it. I doubt we will, but this is a start.
Daryl, go ahead.
So you have the Megyn Kelly and Luna side by side. So are you going to ask the question now? Is it Gates or Burchett? You know, for the ladies in the audience.
All right.
I'm just joking. You don't have to do it, but I'm just trying to think of something for the.
Well, they're definitely not going to be dancing on a pole, so pick one. Gaetez, correct?
Yeah.
Gaetz, yeah.
And Burchette, correct? There's an E on the end.
Yes. So Burchett is in his 60s, and Gates is a pedophile, so not really much to choose.
Be careful on it. You know, he is a supposed one, yes. Gotta be careful. So, well, look at this. So far, with 9 votes in, pick one. Who do you like more, Gates or Burchett? That's a good way to put this. So far, if we take a look at this, Burchett is pulling it in with, God, I can't show this. Bring it up higher if I can bring it down without showing their heads. Bring it down here. Sorry, chat. All right. Gates or Burchett? I'll call this already. 96% of our audience says pick one, Gates or Burchett. They're going for Burchett. Great call, Daryl. Which one did you pick? I would have picked Burchett.
I picked Burchett. I figured he could probably make a good breakfast.
But no, he's got 2 donkeys that keep on escaping, and it's just fucking hilarious. You know what we need to get him? We need to get him those rubber chickens that look like a pirate and send it to him for his donkeys. That would be key.
Oh, yeah.
They love those things.
As well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we all did. All right, so I don't think we've had a survey so strong before. 95% is picking Burchett over Gates. Damn.
That goes to show you. People like authenticity.
He's honest.
Yeah, he is.
God, you know who? We had a peanut farmer before as president. He was an honest guy from Georgia. We could get someone from Tennessee.
Oh, I would love that.
Oh, I would love it too. We're up to 90.
Have the numbers.
We're up to 96% now. All right, 46 votes in. If we can get up to 50 votes, come on, folks. You need 2 more people to vote, and I'll go ahead and shut this down. Welcome to Disclosure tonight. Hopefully you're having a good time. We're just about to go ahead and get going on. We've covered the UFO news for the day, some recaps of what we talked about last night. But, all right, we got 49 votes in. It is not changing. 51 votes, 96%. Burchett, we got it. Daryl, thank you.
I wonder who the 2 people are that voted for Gates. That's it.
Oh, my God, yeah. Thank you, audience. We appreciate that. All right, where else?
I guarantee you that if we would have added Susan Gore to this poll with Gates and Burchett still would have won.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that Rachel Maddow? No, it's Patrick from Vetted. Hi, Patrick. Nice glasses and hairdo. Interesting.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God, I know. All right, A's News now. Congressman just submitted Fox News advanced technology regarding our spaceships existed in the book of... okay, for your Christians out there who follow the Bible... Granted, it's in the Mahabharata and it's in many areas. Let's call it the Old Testament in areas, which goes across many religions. That what we're dealing with is religious. Remember, we were talking last night that there's an issue going on in the Pentagon, that they're saying we can't let this information out because we're talking about it's angels and demons. So, it sounds like a Dan Brown book we need to get. Angels and Demons. Wait a minute. That was a book. All right, let's play this one. Here we go from...
Bible's pretty clear that humanity was not its only creation, and I'm not saying that these are, items that were addressed in the Bible, but it is interesting that if you look at historical context and also documents that have existed throughout time in humanity, and we can get probably into a whole nother topic on that, but you read into the book of Enoch, a lot of this advanced technologies is potentially referenced then, and so all I'm saying is that from a national security perspective, we the American people deserve to know what the government has.
Yes, that is absolutely correct, Mike. We do deserve the truth of what's going on. If there's another life on this planet in this shadow biome that's around us, that's been around us for all this time, we need the truth. Why hide it from the public? Why hide it from the people?
Well, whatever the hell it is, the truth should come out. Even if it was angels and demons, we would not want to know that.
Oh, God, yeah. All right.
It's not, but... either way, bring the truth out. You're right, Tom.
Yep. And our next clip, we've got good old James Fox. Thank you, Skywatch Signal, for putting this out here. We've got a clip from James Fox over, and this is shared from MUFON. Thank you, MUFON, for this one. Talking about the answer to non-human intelligence is not a single answer, right? Because there's many races here. We have things potentially coming from far away. We have things potentially popping in from another dimension. Let's go ahead and listen to this longer clip and go for it. Here we go, folks.
I get intelligence folks, military folks, all the time reaching out to me, and I'm told that there's activity almost 24/7, about 200 miles off the East Coast. And I actually have the coordinates. I just said I have to get a boat that could go 200 miles off the coast. And I've actually talked to some people about that, but I've been given coordinates to some of this UAP activity in the oceans as recently as last week.
I spoke to it's a major hotspot out there. Yeah, I would love to know the exact area, because I've gotten also confirmation from U.S. Marine Corps pilots traveling up a couple hundred miles off the East Coast, and what they witnessed was unbelievable, and traveling at 10 times faster than they could possibly travel. And they, I don't know how many pilots and how many were a part of that flight pattern, but there were multiple who witnessed.
You know what was really frustrating, because a lot of times the military will use that excuse, source and methods, right? So it's like, oh, well, we can't give you the gun cam footage because it reveals this, that, and the other thing. And yet, even when a military, like fighter pilot, whether in the Navy or Air Force or whoever, takes his cell phone out and documents it, that's classified. They won't share that either. So it's like, you know.
Well, it's classified, Mike, as a matter of national security. Doesn't matter who's recorded what. If they're recording the stuff, they're recording another screen, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
That's just an excuse they use. Right. I can't wait for them to, like, the dump that's going to happen where this stuff gets released. I've talked to so many insiders, intelligence, tell me exactly, like, I have them giving me the exact locations of where this stuff is being stored on the various systems and how to get access to it. And I'm taking that and I'm providing it directly to members of Congress, because they have to. It needs to go interact.
That's crazy. I mean, you have to go to this computer terminal. You have to type in this. It's pretty insane. You have to walk them through this process. It's insanity.
So Ron, what's becoming more and more apparent is that we're dealing with multiple versions of non-human intelligence. Rather it be interdimensional time travelers, beings that have been here all along, potentially aliens, plasma beings that we're just now starting to get our heads wrapped around, that there could be these beings that are primarily energy based that literally swim in the atmosphere. The answer to
that could come from our sun.
Non-human intelligence is not a single answer. And I'm part of the growing consensus that a lot of what we're seeing, whether it has extraterrestrial origin or not, is something that is based here on the planet. It's been with us since the dawn of recorded history, and it's becoming more and more evident as our technology gets better. You know, these things that got picked up in 2004 off the Nimitz were largely captured in the variety of ways they were because of new technology that they were testing. And so
that was the Aegis platform, correct, Mike? They just did an upgrade to their radar systems and their...
It was the Spy 1 radar system that went all the way up to 80,000 feet.
I thought it was Aegis 3, or whatever they called it, was the platform.
Spy 1.
Spy 1, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
As our ability to detect these things that have been kind of in here all along gets better, it's harder and harder to dismiss them. And just like Tim Burchett said in that clip that you cut, the oceans are vast and deep, and it's quite possible that there is another intelligent race, even an offshoot of humanity, that's been here all along. And planet Earth has been through a lot of cycles. The surface of the planet is not safe real estate, and so if you're an advanced race and you're here on this planet, and you know we go back billions of years, underground is the place to go. Otherwise, an asteroid or natural disaster is going to wipe out everything on the surface of the planet at some stage or another.
Right, because we've been saying this for the longest time, Mike. If when the next global catastrophe hits the planet, right? The only safe place you're going to have is underground. Yeah. Right. And after it happens, underground. But the safest place on the planet is under the oceans, under the ground. Because usually when the catastrophes happen, you get giant waves over a mile high sweeping over the continents from opposite directions, wiping out all life. If you're underneath the land, you're still going to be kind of screwed because you have to deal with all that water and all the stuff and all the debris that comes in. But if you're under the ocean, you're safe. If you're underneath the bedrock in the ocean, you're even more safe.
Yeah. We've had so far to date about 6 extinction level events, and every time humans survived after an event like that, some of them did, they found evidence that they went underground in the caves and under to be able to survive.
We have Darren Kuyu in Turkey that can support 20,000 people, handle their crops, handle their livestock underground. And the way it was set up, the way they had their areas where light would come in, where they had areas where the oxygen would come in and stuff, it wasn't set up in a way to protect them from humans, but it was set up in a way to protect them for what was going on the surface.
Yeah, that was also Yellowstone National Park. They found cave systems that people were living in during the last cataclysm. So people go underground to survive. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Thomas.
Well, we just got a super chat coming in, Mike. I actually had a couple ones come in. First one was Anonymous Rex. So they're asking Fox to report on the chickens. Absolutely. But then Lord McCormick from the United Kingdom has threw a £5 super chat out there saying, this is the UK a week ago. The Prime Minister says he won't let the US use the UK bases. A week later, fighters are dropping bombs in this in the state of from the UK. It's just interesting situations going on. The UK is just, I feel so bad for the people of the United Kingdom. I really, 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 that's why we cover it, Mike. People want to focus on Epstein and stuff. That's all in the past. That shit happened a while ago. We've got these grooming gangs where you've got young girls and boys being raped and passed around between all these different people, and it's just, they're looking a blind eye to it because they don't want to, offend the Muslims. But if this is what's going on, you can't go ahead and turn a blind eye to it because you're afraid to insult somebody, because they're already insulting the indigenous population in the United Kingdom who's been there for hundreds of years, thousands of years for that matter.
Well, that's why there's a new political movement that's trying to reform all of that and change it.
Restore UK.
Yes.
Reform is kind of there, but it seems like they're a bit twisted. They're a bit compromised. I've read tweets from people, or X posts coming out from people saying, you know what, I've switched from reform to restore UK, and no matter what I do, I can't stop reform to stop charging my credit card, my debit card.
Right. So I agree with the Restore UK political movement. I hope they succeed in what they're trying to do. But we have a member with his hand up in the back chat. UFO report.
Go ahead, my friend.
Howdy, folks. Jim from MUFON. I'd like to comment. The gentleman that you just showed that video commented that all of a sudden we're being made aware that there are, my favorite term, plasmoids or energy beings in our atmosphere. And he is correct, but it's not all of a sudden. This was actually first published by Dr. Rudy Schild. It was primarily authored by Dr. Ron Joseph, one associated with the Harvard Center for Astrophysics. The other one was formerly with well, it's actually still with the Journal of Cosmology. And Thomas and Mike, I'll be happy to forward you that article.
And when did they report? When was that first reported?
That was in 2024, my friends, and it was published. And I will tell you for that there are other scientists out there that I had interviewed on my own show, UFO-Report, and they acknowledged that they're aware of that paper and that there was something to it. And further, since you guys enjoy these cover-ups, Dr. Ron Joseph got his hands on these videos. I won't tell you how, because it's his story, although there's nothing illegit. It was perfectly legit because he did a Freedom of Information Act. He got these videos. Right on the videos, if you look up close, you can see the NASA seal because it's NASA material, and NASA gave it to him through a Freedom of Information
But
Act.
NASA denies they have any information with their new leader with regards to UAP, UFOs, non-human entities flying around. So,
I apologize for interrupting, Thomas. One thing, alive in the atmosphere, it's called the thermosphere. It's basically one layer before you hit the next one, then it goes to outer space. So I just wanted to clarify.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that detailed information on that note. Since we've got all these, we've kind of taken care of our point on covering UFOs in the first hour of the show. It's time to jump into, yes, we're getting into what the hell is going over in Iran. We've got some interesting videos I want to go ahead and bring up. Our first one is, this just came in 19 minutes ago. I want to figure out a way to get this a little bit better. We've got, let me turn off the chat. Sorry, chat. I need to be able to go ahead and focus on some of these videos we've got out there. We've got a video clip coming in from Jordan where we've got Iranian missiles hitting Jordan. It's they're not just going ahead and attacking, if you want to call it Israel. They're attacking Jordan. They're attacking the UAE, I believe. They're attacking all throughout the area. Saudi Arabia, which even brought Saudi Arabia into the conflict against Iran. So they're they're going crazy here.
They're attacking Dubai, which is in the Middle East, with the Saudi Arabs, and Abu Dhabi got bombed. The King of Jordan, who's an ally of the U.S., got bombed. Yeah, they're acting indiscriminately. Well, one of the reasons is if you cut the head off a chicken, it usually runs around before it bleeds out and dies all over the place. It seems like that's what they're doing because their leader, the Ayatollah, who seized power back in '79 from the shore of Iran, has been running that country for the past almost 50 years. But the
Ayatollah was taking out, and supposedly it looks like the president of Iran was taking out. I just saw another clip here where they're saying breaking coming from the Spectator incident. Now, a lot of these things are breaking stories. I just want to put the caveat out there. It may or not be 100%, but this is what's hitting, and we're getting this from the Enforcer, which is a highly, confident source for this information. Reports that Iran's Vice President Mohammad Reza Aref is preparing to assume powers amid a leadership vacuum, which means his time on this planet is not much too long, or is it, Mike?
Oh my God, no.
Yeah,
no, he's on the list.
All right.
He's definitely on the bingo card, Thomas.
In another report, Editor-in-Chief of I can probably turn off the fair use. There we go. Editor-in-Chief of the War Zone, Tyler Rodway, which we cover a lot of times on this channel. B-2s will likely show up tonight, making direct attacks on key targets in a way no other platform can. Yes, this could include MOPs, but a lot of the JDAMs against less fortified targets, they can achieve massive effects in a single sortie. The B-2 can carry 80 500-pound bombs, entire airfields, infrastructure gone in a single pass. They would not be employed until the night, and they would now have the benefit of a highly degraded air defenses and disrupted command control network. This is when the campaign will truly change, if not, Mike, jump into overdrive. Also coming from open source intel, one of the people that I follow here on X, the UAE Ministry of Defense says its air defenses destroyed 132 missiles launched toward the country, intercepted 195 Iranian drones during the recent barrage of attacks. Also, reports emerge of Iranian drones striking the iconic Burj Al Arab in Dubai. So they're attacking Dubai. They're attacking UAE. They're attacking the Saudi Arabia, all the countries in the area. This is going to bring one hell of a wrath of Khan down on Iran. Now, in this next one, Iranian drone just an hour ago hit a 5-star Burj Al Arab hotel in Dubai. The 132-meter, 60-story tower stands on an artificial island. These are the islands that they built out there, Mike, that look like a palm tree.
Right. In a desert. Yep.
Well, out in the ocean, but yeah. In their local sea. Now we've got another video coming up of first close footage of central Tel Aviv after strikes. Yes, the Golden Dome is, if you want to call it, something that's that works well in some instances, but Mike, it appears that it really doesn't handle everything. Let me go ahead and just fix this so I can go between the two views. Sorry, audience, give me a second. There we go. No, that's not it. Someone has their hand up. Go ahead.
Manuel de Castro. Go ahead, Manuel.
Maybe it was on accident. Let's go ahead and continue. So yeah, here we've got the footage coming out of Tel Aviv. Yes, it's expected, and there have been plenty of warnings coming for the people of Tel Aviv and Israel to get to the underground bunkers. So at least, yes, Ms. Cussout, it is completely a shit show there. Let's go ahead and move on. Breaking protests have been breaking out in Tehran, and I think I've got some bookmarks here. That's from OSINT. We've got some clips of the Dubai airport, people running in fear because the airport is under attack. Let's get this one here. We have Iranian missile impacts. We have some other images of Tel Aviv getting hit. Let's get back to, I've got that there. I want to get back to my bookmarks. Let's go further up in the feed of what I've been dealing with. Nope. Don't need to worry about AI at this point. Forget about Carney right now. Get past that.
Well, I can tell you while you're searching.
No, I'm just going through here. Here we go. Go ahead, Mike.
The former leader of Iran, the Ayatollah, he promised that if the United States and Israel attacked Iran, that it would not solely be just a conflict between us and them. He promised that it would become a regional war involving everybody in that region at war if Iran was attacked. And if they're attacking Jordan and Saudi Arabia and Egypt, he's keeping his promise.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be a large-scale regional conflict, and we're going to follow every step of the way.
Now, I believe this is the strike that happened about 16 hours ago. Khomeini's residence in Tehran was destroyed, and I believe this is where they took out the Ayatollah Khomeini and the president of Iran in one strike. Now, think about this. Usually, we don't go ahead and do any kind of attack going on during the daytime. We always wait till the evening to do our attacks. But however, Mike, I believe Trump was saying this has been planning for months. And the whole goal was after we got through with our negotiations with them, where they turned us down, they were waiting for all the top heads of the government to come back to the Khomeini residence to discuss it. And then that single strike they hit, they took everybody out.
They did. And also the timing as far as why they attacked yesterday and why this is going on this weekend. It is a high holy holiday for the Muslim community. It's called Ramadan.
Right.
Which means they're going to be in a specific place in their residence eating and praying. And that's why these strikes were taking place during the day, because they knew right where they were going to be.
Well, they knew exactly, but it wasn't just Khomeini. It was a president, the heads of, if you want to call the head of the snake, that they went and decapitated. All right, we got that
they
one.
Knew where the Muslims would be during this holiday. And they
yes.
got it.
All right. As we interrupt, a quick thing to cover some news that's going on in Canada here really quick. Mark Carney earns the coveted 5 Pinocchio rating for his claim that Canada is the fastest growing economy in the G7, with all the schmucks behind him going ahead and clapping. Let's see what the schmuck has to say.
Our numbers straight. The Canadian economy is the strongest growing economy in the G7, 2.6% annualized. Canadian wages are growing faster than inflation for every month that this government has been in office, 3.2%, over 2.2%. Unemployment is down, wages are up, the land is strong, we're moving forward.
Oh, what a schmuck. I feel so sorry for our friends in Canada. All right, turning our eyes back on what's going on, coming from, we've got a video here of some, this is a cool one. They've got, looks like over a field. I believe this is real. Let's check with Grok. Let's make sure what we're showing is real. It actually does a good job on identifying what's real and what's not. Okay, post shares. This is unverified video footage from Iraq depicting low altitude assault of fast-moving objects going across the sky that confirms that are genuine cruise missiles or strike aircraft en route to Iran during the missile strikes. So now that we know this is something that's likely real, not 100%, let me get back to the video clip and let's turn off the audio. That sounds like our sound effect we have. And it looks like there are multiple cruise missiles coming in at the daytime, Mike. These could be the very missiles that were launched to go ahead and take out Khomeini, take the head off the snake.
Yeah, could be. You're right.
All right. Let's continue on in the next one. What the hell was that? I don't want to know. All right. No. Where's my bookmarks? It's supposed to be in my freaking bookmarks. I was just there, and it took me out. All right. So let's go from the top down on stuff. All right. I can't play the whole song, but yeah, they have a take on Barbara Ann. I put this up as a short on the channel. Watch it. Yeah, it's just hilarious. Let's see if I can get to this one. This one is fucking hilarious. It's a short on the channel. Check it out. It's something I want to make sure everybody sees. All right, so here we go. The sky of Israel seen from southern Lebanon, where we've got, if you want to call it, a bunch of the Golden Dome, of their Golden Dome, going up and taking out the ballistic missiles as they're coming into Israel. So not everyone is taken out, but a lot of them are, my friends. Let's get on to the next one. All right. There is a hell of a backup going in the Strait of Hormuz. This is the area where we've got all the tankers coming from the Middle East going out there. And if it's not open, markets will crash if the Strait of Hormuz, Mike, is not reopened by Monday. We've got about 24 hours, if not 36 hours, to go ahead and hit that point. If that doesn't happen, it's going to send the markets and potentially oil into a tailspin or a raise in price. But luckily, Mike, in the United States, we generate enough oil to go ahead and take care of ourselves if we don't go ahead and export anything.
Oh, it'll be fine, Thomas, because Trump and Israel already said that they're going to be taking out Iran's missiles, drones, and their navy. So the Sea of Hormuz is going to be fine by Monday.
Yeah. Daryl, your hands up. Go ahead.
We also got this little thing called Venezuela that's given us 60 million barrels of oil. So,
yeah, and luckily we used to get that kind of oil from Canada, but now we get it from Venezuela, and we have the ability to go ahead and refine it.
Yeah, tough luck. Sorry, Canada.
Yeah. Well, they've been carny, my friends. Now we have a video of celebrations on Iran and news of Khomeini's elimination. We've got video and audio clip of people out in the streets celebrating. Yeah.
Well, that's because Trump also put out the public message that he's helping the people of Iran and they need to take their government back.
Yep, exactly. Oh, there we go. I can't miss this one. You can't unsee this now. Mark Carney and his wife as Mr. and Mrs. Burns, as Mr. Burns and Marge Simpson. Oh, yeah. If you're a Carney lover, I'm sorry. I can't help you on this one. Let's move in. Our next one is an insane video of an Iranian missile getting destroyed in space, or if not, in a really high altitude for that matter. Let's go ahead and play this. We got the missile flying out there, and then kaboom! There you go. They can launch them. However, they can't always keep them from not getting blown up. All right, here we got another one here. This looks like it's an accurate video. Iranian women earlier today are literally removing their hijabs and dancing in the middle of Tehran. 2 crimes currently in the Islamic regime. Clearly, they've been living under tyranny for a long time, and they can't wait to get out of it, Mike.
Almost 50 years, Thomas.
Yeah.
And when they were fighting back not that long ago, thousands of them were killed by the current regime. So,
yes, Dunk X7, Free Persia, 100%. I've worked with a number of Persian Jews back in the day. Greatest people you could ever work with. It was back in the video game industry. I had Barry Friedman that I was working with, and then, oh God, I'll remember some of the other names that I was dealing with. It was Hank Kaplan, who was the head of New Kidco back in the day. Amazing stuff. Yes, since 1979, King Bull, they've been dealing with this kind of tyranny of going on in their country, for that matter. Sorry, I can't play it too long. All right, this is AI, but it's funny. You got to have some fun with it, folks. And I will say this is AI up front. Let's play it, and let's just have some fun with this.
Assalamu alaikum, bitches. This is your new Supreme Leader speaking. Well, I warned Ali this would happen, and he just kept talking trash like we couldn't Maduro his old ass. Anyway, enjoy your new freedom, people. We're going to have bikini parties, all-you-can-eat buffets, dancing to country music, and singing karaoke all night long. We're going to have the best fiestas with delicious margaritas and sexy mamacitas. If you're a woman, you can finally take off that ridiculous bedsheet these idiots made you wear. You're free to be smart and beautiful and to wear whatever you want. Under my regime, you can now vote, as long as you vote Republican. If you think about it, you can only vote Republican because there will be no Democrat Party here. Everything they touch turns to shit, believe me.
All right, Mike, I had to play that one. We know it's AI, but you know what? You got to laugh at it. Got to have, take it with a pinch of salt, as they would usually say.
Oh, no, that was a perfect speech.
Yeah. Now, and next one, we've got a video clip. Now, supposedly, we cannot verify it, that Iran reportedly launched a Fatah hypersonic missiles. I think they probably got those from
Russia.
No, not Russia, China.
Yeah, could be.
The Fatah is positioned as a high hypersonic missile over Mach 13. And there you go. This thing is flying in the sky above the streets. Let's see if they can actually bring the thing down, Mike. Yeah. Interesting things going out there. We've got an additional. This is from Bahrain, where they're seeing a launch of Iranian missiles that was visible. This is one heck of a sight, Mike, that we would never want to see from the United States, because if we were launching stuff like this, that would be nuclear missiles.
It would be, Thomas, you're right.
Yeah. That is not a nice sight to see, I tell you that one. Wow.
No, it is turning into a regional conflict, though. Everybody's involved.
Oh, you better believe it is. We've got another one here. I need to run to the restroom on this one, Mike. Pro tip, if you can see the explosion clearly enough, you're too close. Put the phone down and run. Let me play this one while I quickly step out to deal with a matter that I can't control. Here we go, folks. Put you up there, Mike, so you can talk about it.
Готуйтесь до взриву. О, пішло. Готуйтесь до взриву, дуже голосно буде.
Oh, he's saying the 4th of July came early this year.
Зараз буде ще. Зараз буде ще.
Big explosion. Interesting. Yeah.
Ядерна бомба, блядь.
Yeah, big bomb. No kidding. Yeah, they're going to have a lot of fireworks going on over in that region until Iran has exhausted its weapons supply. We knocked out most of their drones and ballistic missiles, and then this is going to come to an end. That's what it looks like. They don't have an infinite supply, so let them keep firing off whatever they have. It's not going to last. And it so far hasn't been effective.
Як ядерний взрив вже. Грибок росте.
Yeah, Mike, you bring up a good point. Iran only has so many missiles out there they can possibly go ahead and use. Now, this is one of ours going ahead and blowing this stuff up. There's only so much they can go ahead and do to try and protect themselves. But, this is about the liberation of the Iranian people from the tyranny they've been dealing with for like 49 years.
47 years, yeah.
47 years, yeah. They deserve this moment of freedom, and that means, like we just heard a moment ago, about the vice president stepping up to be the head of the snake. It won't be too long before he's taken out as well. The goal of the United States and Israel's, and I believe the UK is also maybe involved in this, is to literally eliminate the current military and government structure who's heading Iran at this point.
But Andy has his hand up.
Andy, go ahead.
I will say, actually, on the UK, we are not involved in the main attack. We are involved in stopping these missiles and potentially getting into some of the other countries around the area. But I just want to say, I have got, I've mentioned it, 2 CTVs actually showing here in the UK all the Iranian people who've been forced to move out of Iran. They're out in London, have a massive celebration at the moment. So yeah, there's no tears, very few tears going to be shed over this.
Well. Let's get back to this here really quick. Let me zoom this down. Meanwhile, I believe this is in DC. Let me go ahead and see if I can go ahead and bring this up. Here we go. There have been protests going on in all across the United States against the United States actions to go ahead and actually decapitate the snake of Iran that's been going on and killing all of the protesters. It's a horrible sight, Mike. And they've got the Iranian flag up there. The saddest thing about this, folks, this is happening here in the United States when all of the civilians, when they had the uprising, were being slaughtered in the streets, and they even came into the hotels, the hospitals, to take them out. And you know what? Not one protest from anybody, but yet when we go in there to liberate the people of Iran, we get protests going in the United States. Daryl, go ahead.
I'm just going to guess that there is absolutely no Iranians in that crowd. That's just so stupid. Anyway.
It just doesn't make sense. But, they're out in Washington. This is in Washington, D.C. Earlier today, there were protests in Washington, D.C. They have protests going in, Times Square, all over the place. But you know what? They all have the same sign. So stop the war in the Middle East. You know what? There's a job to get done, and we're going to get it done now.
And it's about damn time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's get back to my feed I had going on here. All right, we got good old Tim Burchett. I can't wait till you guys can go ahead and see what they've got to say about this in Australia. It's a freaking dying shame. But let's listen to Tim Burchett, a little 34-second clip talking about what's going on. Obama bombed 8 countries without congressional approval. It's disingenuous for the Democrats for them to say this is unprecedented. Let's go ahead and play what Tim is saying. Here we go.
President Obama bombed 8 countries.
Wait, why is there no audio? Click it up. All right, here we go.
President Obama bombed 8 countries without congressional approval. So I think it's a little disingenuous for the Democrats to start saying this is unprecedented. And you've got the most evil regime outside of probably the Chinese in the whole world right now. And they've killed Americans within recent memory. So is this a revenge tour? Maybe a little bit, but you poke the bear, you get it, or you poke the bull, you get the horns. And the horns right now are Donald J. Trump, and he's letting an enemy of this country know how we feel about them.
I want to ask you about the
President Obama.
Great to see a good, stable voice of Tim Burchett speaking on this. He's getting more and more press, which we all freaking deserve. All right, this is coming to us from Australia's public broadcaster, ABC News. And it was absolutely shocking what he was talking about what's going on in Iran. I'll let his words speak for himself, but oh God, he even if you want to call it, talks like when they went and took care of all the people in the streets. It's just business as usual. Let's play this.
To become part of the wider world, who do not want to live under that regime and want all of the opportunities, economic, social, academic, whatever you can think of. They want those same opportunities. The pressure builds up, and they come out onto the streets, whether it's a spark like the deaths of Massa Amini or whatever it might be. Every couple of years, you get one of these uprisings, and they last for a week, they last for a couple of weeks before eventually they are put down. You and I have been in the middle of one of them.
They're put down, meaning they're killed. Just say they're killed.
Watch the other ones from afar. They happen, they never really last. But as you say, it's a matter of weeks since the most recent one, when Donald Trump, as you say, said, people of Iran, keep going. We will be behind you. We have your back. Essentially, if you keep this uprising going, the United States will be there to look after you. And that never happened. Nothing happened, and that uprising itself was put down. Now, it may be the case if, as we've seen, there are attacks on the regime. If indeed key figures of the regime are killed, major institutions of the regime are removed, and there is deep instability. It may be that people come onto the streets. In fact, I think you could say it's probably likely. But where would the trust be in the United States to follow through? Donald Trump has launched this military action, but he's...
Andy, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to know where this bozo's getting his information from. From the information I've been getting, the Iranian people, even though, yes, they've been locked down, they're still protesting every night. They're out there. Every night people have been going out on the street. So, yeah, this boat's, as I said, a bozo, I think.
Yeah. It's a sad situation, to say the least. If I can, let me get back over to the enforcer feed that I've got going here. Let me go ahead and refresh it, see if we can do to go ahead and find the latest news that's coming out here on this. All right, so we got another wave of naval and air strikes reportedly underway against Iran. As recently as 10 minutes ago, we've got from open source intel going ahead and saying interceptors were filed from Patriot air defenses batteries protecting Al Quaid Air Base in Qatar against incoming Iranian missiles. So it seems like the entire Middle East is under attack from Iran. They're just going crazy here.
Yeah, they want to take everybody with them if they can.
Yeah. All right, another one coming from World Source News. Attacks on ammunition and missile warehouses in Tehran are being reported. Here we've got a video of the Israeli Air Force striking mobile Iranian missile launchers. This is a good one. Boom. Not much left of that one or anyone who was in it. There's another one getting taken out. Kabam. This is the kind of stuff. There's another one. It's gone. So it seems like the Israelis in the United States, Mike, you know what we're missing, though, is we're missing the footage like this. We're getting this from Israel, but we're not getting footage like this from the United States. Gotta wonder why. Maybe they want to keep it under the sheets, but either way, we've got another one. Anti-regime protesters tore down statues of Khomeini in Galadar, Fars province of Iran. So let's go ahead and bring it in. We've got the statue over here that they're burning, and they're working to go ahead and tear it down. There it goes. Boom. Right there. Boom. Taking it down. These people are celebrating in the streets. They deserve it. They want the end of the regime that's been so oppressive for so long. Matt Ramon, your hand is up. Yes, it's pure joy, my friends. Matt, go ahead. Maybe not. All right, see what else we've got going on here. Get out of this feed to the next one. All right, 30 minutes ago, sirens are sounding in Bahrain in response to reports of incoming Iranian drones and missiles that are targeting the country. We've got the entire 10th Technical Air Base and Iran's 3rd Naval Force have been destroyed. Hundreds of soldiers are still under missile fire. I hope they just finish it off now And you shameless bastards, shameless Khomeini, Netanyahu, and Shedazan stopped the missiles. Well, they don't like the missiles coming in, but I think that's someone from Iran who's posting that, which is, of course, to be expected. If I get into OSINT, let's go ahead and do a search for some of the latest videos of what's going on out there. All right, let's go to latest. All right. According to around, this just came in 2 minutes ago, around 2 a.m., the Pakistan Air Force reportedly carried out a precision airstrike on a Taliban airport in the outskirts of Kabul. According to the initial reports, the late-night aerial operation targeted a suspected militant stronghold. How about that? It's not just going on with strikes happening against Iran. It seems that Pakistan has ratcheted up what's going on against Afghanistan as well. Matt, your hand is up.
Yeah, sorry about that. Hit the wrong button.
Yeah.
But one of the things is it the capital of Iran is that Tehran?
Tehran, yes.
Yeah. So if you look at the earlier photos or videos that came out when they hit the Parliament building, you can actually see the people in the streets. They're actually just going about their daily lives without worrying and screaming and panicking at this point. There was actually areas where they were actually dancing. And it makes you wonder if, with the response that Iran is having with all the different areas of the Middle East, is it now unifying all these countries that used to fight against each other, kind of in the same boat? So the overthrow of them, I think, will be facilitated by the neighboring countries.
Right. Well, we haven't seen them go ahead and attack Egypt yet, but they have been attacking a lot of strongholds where the United States has military presence there. But they're not just attacking the military bases of the United States. They're attacking the civilian infrastructure, which really has got to be pissing some people off.
And did you get the video of the one where they had the drone that went through the high rise?
That was in Dubai, right?
Yes.
I think I may have it here somewhere. Yeah, there was interesting. Yes, there's high rises that are out there of, condominiums where people live, that they're going and blowing up civilian structures. Let's see if I can go ahead and find some other ones here. What's going on? I'm just looking. 6 minutes ago, Jalab Airport, the Jeb Ali Port. Fire caused by aerial interception of debris. Yes, we've got ports that are getting taken down at this point. Let's see what else we have here for videos. All right, 10 minutes ago, developing a second airport in Abu Dhabi, reportedly targeted by Iranian drone. Thick smoke visible as the Gulf security risks surge. So yeah, we've got more airports getting taken out of what's going on. Well, we got a Polish influencer in Dubai. We're not going to be able to understand what he's saying. All right, so celebrations reported in Homs, Syria, after the Israel-Iran strike. So, again, people around the world, different areas in the region, are celebrating for what's going on, and it's necessary. This regime has been there holding, if you want to call it, the Middle East hostage for a long time. All right. What do we got from here? Move on from there. Nope. 18 minutes ago. Credible initial OS intelligence intel indicates B-2 stealth bombers are now heading towards Iran. Interesting, to say the least. Can't wait to go ahead, but the thing is, we're not going to get video footage of this kind of stuff. I wish they would go ahead and release it. If we go to 23 minutes ago, viral clip from Dubai International Airport after what appears to be an Iranian drone impact. Thick smoke debris everywhere, passengers fleeing in panic, flight suspended as airspace shuts down in a dramatic escalation in the Gulf. Clearly, there are some people who have blood on them who have been injured in the attacks going on in the civilian airports. Where else? We've got that one. Children play on a failed Iranian missile that fell in the Aaro region of Syria. Well, considering it failed, that means there's still munitions on board, which is not the best thing to go ahead and start climbing on, Mike? Unless they want to go,
no.
Unless they want to go kaboom. Got that one.
Trump told all the civilians over there during this attack that they need to be safe and shelter in place.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like they're doing that. So that's why you're going to see some blood around.
Yep. We've got another air base over in Jordan that was recently struck. A United States air base is in Jordan that was recently struck, going ahead and taking out, well, the location. There's no report on casualties, but I'm sure everyone is alerted to what's going on. A lot of people talking about the B-2 bombers inbound. Can't wait to see some video of these things going on. We've got another one of interceptors launched from U.S. and Qatar Patriot missile batteries defending Al Udeid Air Base in as Iran fired another wave of ballistic missiles at Qatar. Mike, everybody is under attacks at this point.
Well, I can tell you that Jordan and the King of Jordan, who's been an ally of the United States for decades, it's a very wealthy country. They have a military. They are also going to start attacking Iran, not just us.
Yeah.
This was a stupid move on behalf of the leadership in Iran. I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, and war is never a good thing, but if it gives an opportunity to go ahead and, if you want to call it, relieve people from an oppressive government that's in play, it's a good thing.
Oh yeah, they seem to be suicidal.
Oh yeah, exactly. Let's get past this. We got another one here coming from. This is coming from OSINT Selva. We got celebrations in Galadar in Iran. We are facing a unique moment in history. I think this is the same one we saw before. Yeah. This is video from yet another person at this point where they were going ahead and tearing down monuments to Khomeini, Mike.
It's 47 years overdue.
Gosh, yes, absolutely. All right. There's a fleet. Is there anything going to be here? No, image isn't going. You got a fleet of KC-135s, T expected to fly from Anderson Air Force Base in Guam to Diego Garcia. Lucky that one location hasn't been given up yet. All right, move past this. Anything else 47 minutes ago? It's getting kind of old. All right, let's go ahead and just refresh this search again for what's happening on the latest. Nope, not that one. We've got photos of an Israeli drone, a Hermes 935, which is destroyed by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard in the city of Khomeini. Yes, so not all of the weapons are going to make it there, but also large numbers of U.S. tankers on Flight Radar 24 are approaching the Mediterranean now, likely dragging more fighters into the Iran region. Suspected landing at Israeli air bases or Canaan in Crete. Now, one of the sad things about this, Mike, is we're not getting support from the United Kingdom. They've prevented any of our aircraft from operating out of the UK. They could potentially be part of this effort. And thank God for our friends in Greece and Crete, for in Greece, for allowing us to go ahead and operate from those areas. It just seems like yet another fuck you coming to the United States from the Keir Starmer, who should be arrested and thrown into prison for what he's done to the United Kingdom.
Well, hopefully the Restore UK movement will be successful.
Oh, God, yeah.
So.
Let me get back to this for a second. I want to go ahead and do my bookmarks here. Let's go across to here. Let me get to my bookmarks, and I want to look for... Here we go. We've got a speech, I'm sure a lot of people see it, of Keir Starmer getting up in front of the cameras to go ahead and talk about their lack or their involvement or lack thereof in supporting the United States in this effort. So let's go ahead and bring this one up. Here we go. Actually, let's just get to this one. Let's play it.
Earlier this morning, the United States and Israel struck targets in Iran. Iran has since launched indiscriminate strikes across the region. I know the British people and communities across our country will be deeply concerned about what this means for security and stability and for the fate of innocent people across the region.
Well, you know what, though? It sounds like, Mike, he's pandering and supporting the Iranian regime that's been in control and has killed tens of thousands of people in the recent uprising. It's another fucking apology coming from him.
He's a real schmuck. He's defending an evil regime that's killed thousands of people. I don't know how he could justify that.
I don't know, Matt. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's making basically this weird statement that like he hasn't seen what's been going on over there, and now all of a sudden what the Americans' actions are doing could potentially put UK at risk. So now they have to up their support from their troops and all this. And it's like, where were you when your country was being invaded in the last 5-6 years?
Well, they've enabled it. So, that's the problem. But he should be talking about the people from Iran who have immigrated to the United Kingdom, who are out in celebration for what the Americans and the Israelis are doing. But it sounds more like an apology. Andy from the UK?
Yeah, I just want to say the vast majority of us here in the UK, as soon as anybody plays this individual's noise, we go on mute, or as I've just had to do is remove my headphones, because otherwise I don't want a little bit sick to come in my mouth. So, yeah. That's what the vast majority of people here think.
Well, if that happens, make sure you spit.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and play some more. Here we go.
Which, for so many of us, includes friends and family members. So whilst the situation is evolving very quickly, I want to set out our response. The United Kingdom played no role in these strikes, but we have long been clear. The regime in Iran is utterly abhorrent. They have murdered thousands of their own people, brutally crushed dissent, and sought to destabilize the region. Even in the United Kingdom, the Iranian regime poses a direct threat to dissidents and to the Jewish community. Over the last year alone, they have backed more than 20 potentially lethal attacks on UK soil. So it is clear they must never be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon. That remains the primary aim of the United Kingdom and our allies, including the US. I condemn Iran's attacks today on partners across the region, many of which are not parties to this conflict. We extend our support and solidarity to them as part of our commitments.
But not to the United States, who you kicked out of the country and prevented them from using the airports or the military bases that we've been leasing in the United Kingdom, paying a good penny to lease these bases to go ahead and allow this attack to happen. Hey, Andy?
Yeah, sorry, I've just had to remove my headphones. So, yeah, I'm just catching up on you there, mate. But
not a problem, yeah.
To the security of our allies in the Middle East, we have a range of defensive capabilities in the region, which we've recently strengthened. Our forces are active, and British planes are in the sky today as part of coordinated regional defensive operations to protect our people, our interests, and our allies, as Britain has done before, in line with international law. We've stepped up protections for British bases and personnel to their highest level. We are also reaching out to UK nationals in the region and doing everything we can to support them. I've been speaking with leaders today from the E3 and
God, our audience has dropped playing this this schmuck's message, but you know what? It's well, I think this says everything here.
Starmer and his cronies be tried for treason.
Right. Wow.
One more time.
So my question is at what point in the future will the communist Starmer and his cronies be tried for treason?
And crimes against the humanity of the United Kingdom. And clearly they need to be, Andy. Just have to say that. I need to find the moon. I need to go ahead and take this really quick, move it so it's, there we go. There we go. Perfect. All right. Finally got that logo issue solved. What else we have got going on? Interesting things going on everywhere across. All right. All right. We've got a new video that came out from Eddie Abbott and Jon Stewart, labeling this as jaw-dropping footage of potential UAP that are flying around this location. Okay, we've got night shots coming from supposedly security cameras, right? That are showing things in daylight view, not with IR or anything else. Showing a bunch of interesting craft that are flying around here. That honestly just screams of AI. You know, if you're seeing an object when it's being shown, yeah, I guess it's going ahead and doing that, but it's just, yeah, it's a mess. But for those who love UAP and everything that's out there, this is something, look, there's 3 of them now coming into formation, going across, and it's gone. This just screams, although we say it's not AI, why is it those at that point are going ahead and fucking with the camera, right? But these right here, they're not fucking with the camera, Andy. There should be a consistency going from when these are coming in and showing it till the next point they're coming in. You're getting noise coming into the camera, but it's not just around the objects. That noise should be across the entire sensors and the CCD of the object. It's just, you know, this one looks like more like a traditional UFO. You know, you look at stuff.
If they say it's too good to be true, it normally is. So
yeah.
And with, you know, as we've talked about on this show so many times, you know, the advent of AI is going to make it so much harder to, you'll get the ones that you can blatantly see are bunkum, you know, are absolute rubbish. But then, you know, you're going to get, as we've always had for so many years, you know, there's probably some genuine footage out there, but it's all interspersed with fakery and you know, so it's going to get even harder to weed out the real ones from the rubbish.
Right. Well, coming from ProPixel Video Analysis and Research, he says, well, security cameras will change their sensitivity to ensure proper exposure. This one does not. At the 2 points in the video where the brightness of these objects should have instigated a gain change in the camera's sensor, which it does not. This tells us it was added with AI or in CGI with post. The gain should have gone down, which would have made the background go from totally dark to try to adjust for the intense light across the totality of the frame. So in my ProPixel opinion, this is a fake, but we've got Jon Stewart and this guy, Eddie Abbott, saying, oh my God, this stuff is actually real. It's a mess.
Yeah,
it's not real, Thomas.
Yeah, but can I? I was going to say, you know, in my opinion, I would expect if it's recorded on a security camera or something, you would notice a change in the camera. It's not going to stay in the same, the quality of the camera and the image is not going to stay the same if there's a genuine object emitting light as bright as that. That light is going to affect the sensor on the cameras. So
yeah, it's a mess. But there's people out there trying to push this shit as real, and that's the problem I have with it. It's all about monetization. It's all about trying to pull people in to get them to go ahead and believe. The thing is, folks, you don't want to believe. If you want to believe in something, you're trying to believe in something that's not real. You want the facts, and based on the facts, you want to be able to make an honest decision of what we're looking at. Almost like CNN. In this next clip, holy cow, let's get to this one, going back to what we've been talking about. Where are we getting down here? All right, let's get to this one. Holy crap, CNN is being forced to report on the massive support in the streets of Los Angeles for President Trump's killing of Khomeini. We have had a historic day here. Yes, that's true of what's been going on. While CNN has been reporting on the if you want to call it, the anti-protests that have been going on for our attacks in Iran, CNN is actually, with their new ownership, Paramount, they've been realizing they're screwed and they have to start releasing the actual truth and not just the spin cycle. Let's get to it.
The largest Iranian populations outside of the Middle East. You see the gathering there behind her. Julia, how is the Iranian community responding?
Well, this gathering has only grown, Jessica, over the past few hours, since we've gotten here. It has amassed a large number of people, and the celebration is striking. We got here just moments after.
So we're talking about a celebration in the streets, Mike. We're not talking about people going and protesting against it like we saw in Washington, D.C. and in Times Square in New York, but people in L.A., where there's the largest population of Iranian people in the United States who have escaped from there, are celebrating in the streets. Your thoughts?
As they should. So it seems like the left-leaning liberals in sanctuary cities are pro-Iranian regime. But the actual Iranians on the street here are celebrating the downfall of that regime. So
yes.
I would go with the Iranian people. They know what they're talking about.
Oh, God, yeah. It's great to see this is going on, and CNN is being forced to go ahead and cover it because, God, who bought out? I think it was Paramount.
Paramount is almost a bankrupt company. I don't know why they'd be involved with CNN, but they're
so
losing
Paramount
money
Skydance has agreed to recover it. Who is the guy behind it?
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, no, not J.J. Abrams.
Skydance, you said, right?
Yeah, Skydance Productions. That's not J.J. Abrams. But there's, the people who are behind it. Let's just play this clip and get through it. Here we go.
After initial reports, initial rumors of the death of Ayatollah Khamenei had just started to trickle from Iran to this diaspora community, and people were jumping in excitement, hugging each other, crying, saying that basically they've been waiting 47 years for this very day, Jessica. It is the reason so many of them have come out here today. I want you to hear from one of them specifically, his thoughts right after learning that the Supreme Leader of Iran was dead.
When is the last time you saw people in Israel and Iran dancing on the streets in excitement? And when is the last time you've ever heard of a country coming out and dancing because they're excited that foreign powers are attacking them?
Now, the name of Reza Pahlavi has been at the tip of people's tongues here, Jessica. So these are very much people who are pro-Shah. They want to see a leadership emerge from Reza Pahlavi. They're calling for him to take over the reins, and their hope, they've told me, is that he would then lead a a temporary government and hold elections in Iran, hold a referendum in Iran so that the people could decide what would come next for their nation.
Yeah, and so many Iranian people hoping for a regime change and that they can.
They're at a loss for words. I love
take
it.
back their government. A lot of questions about how that will happen, if it can happen. Julia Vargas Jones, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
The largest Iran.
There we go. Latest news for what's going on. Let's move along with it. Missile flying towards. Go ahead, Mike.
Skydance is owned by Larry Ellison.
Yeah,
Oracle.
Oh God, yeah. Larry Ellison, the guy who founded Oracle, right?
Right.
And it was his son who came in there, and we're talking about people who are more on the right than on the left. And currently, if we get into this, Mike, CNN is freaking, if you want to call it, freaking out, quaking in their boots for this matter, because they're afraid that Larry Ellison's association with more of the right than the left is going to screw with their existing audience and the people who work there.
As long as they do proper coverage, it doesn't really matter. The audience will respond to getting the truth. So I don't think he has to worry, as long as they do the right job.
Oh, hell no. All right, let's see what we've got going on here. We've got, all right, Iran, this is 5 hours ago. I don't want 5 hours ago. I want like freaking right now. Let's get to it.
Well, he's dead now, the Ayatollah.
Of course he is. All right, we've got Patriot defense systems are demolishing incoming Iranian missiles over Al Wadad Air Base in Qatar. We showed something like this earlier. This is additional feed coming in. We've got breaking news. District judge overturns Khomeini's death. This is a joke, but you know what?
It's funny.
You got to have fun with this kind of thing. Iranian parliament burns the American flag and chants death to America, but good luck for them. All right, so NASA captures image of spider webs on Mars. Rice University, Tina Seeger, one of the mission scientists leading the Boxwork investigations, joins Jesse Weber to discuss the photos of Martian spiderwebs taken by NASA's Mars rover, which may offer clues to the possibility of life over on Mars. This is something new, folks. We've always said life on Mars is dead, but now we potentially have true facts, Mike, that life on Mars may still be there.
Until maybe tonight.
Let's see.
Let's play the clip, bring up the volume. Here we go.
Life on Mars, how many times have we been asking that question, right? It's a mystery people have been wrestling with and not a whole lot of actual facts until maybe tonight. We not only have new information, we also have some really cool new pictures to help kind of answer that question, because NASA's Curiosity Mars rover has now captured photos of Martian spider webs. Now, before you think, okay, wait, these are like massive spider-like creatures on a foreign planet. Your mind races with that nightmare. They're called spider webs because that's what they look like from space, but they're actually geological formations called boxwork. They're low ridges with sandy hollows in between like spider webs, and they crisscross the red planet's surface. But here's the key part. These webs suggest water flowed on Mars later than scientists thought, raising new questions about how...
Mike, are scientists ever accurate?
No.
Did they ever get the exact facts? Yet they go ahead and put things down in law, if you want to call it, where we say this is what happened, this is when it happened. If you want to try and question what we're saying, fuck you, we're going to go ahead and shut it down.
Right. It's called scientism.
Yeah. We get historism. We get all these different things where they want to treat their knowledge and what they think as reality. But are scientists ever accurate? Never. You look at the global climate change that's going on. Every single estimate of what they've said, where we're going, what's going on, how it's happening, why it's happening, every single one of those particular points has been wrong, but yet they try to claim that we know everything, when reality, they don't know shit.
Right. That's absolutely right.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
long life could have survived on Mars. Now, I'm not a scientist, so to help us understand more about the Mars spiderwebs, we're joined by Tina Seeger of Rice University in Houston. She's one of the mission scientists leading the Boxwork investigation. Thank you so much for taking the time. All right, what are we seeing here?
Great. Thanks so much for having me. This is just so exciting to see this beautiful picture from space of these crisscrossing ridges and then driving the rover up to them on the ground to finally see what they look like. So in the on the ground photo, we've got these ridges that are, maybe 2 parking spaces wide, and they stand 3 to 6 feet tall above the sandy hollows between them. So would be a pretty fun landscape to ride your BMX bike across. And gives us this really incredible texture that we can think about how it formed and what it might mean for water.
So what does it mean for water? What does it mean for our understanding of life on Mars, or when there was life on Mars?
It means a lot. So we think these features formed because the rock was buried over time and fractured because of all that pressure covering it. And then groundwater flowed through those cracks, and that groundwater was rich in different minerals that could crystallize in those cracks and the surrounding rock. And when that crystallization happens, it cements the rock and makes it harder. So now, in modern time, now that it's dry, the landscape is eroding away, and those hardened areas stay raised up as ridges. And so this is an area on the area that Curiosity is exploring that we had initially interpreted as dry, and it had formed after Mars dried out about 3.5 billion years ago. But now it seems like the groundwater was a really important part of forming these ridges. And so that groundwater had to persist for a while after the surface water dried up.
And that goes into a whole new understanding about the existence of life on Mars. What do you do with this information now? Like, what's the next step?
Well, it's hard to constrain the actual amount of time, right, that it takes. But we always talk about following the water because on Earth, all sorts of microbes need water. So our investigation on Mars has been about looking for signs that there was water and signs lived. And so now that we see this evidence for later stage groundwater, where we could have maybe had microbes living in the subsurface if they were there, we can keep looking for fossil evidence. We haven't found that on Mars yet, but it's something that both rovers on Mars are looking for. And we can start to think about how that fits into all of the rock units we're still going to explore as we start driving away.
Mike, this brings up to the question is, why is NASA and those involved with it so fucking hell-bent on looking for microbes in potentially other areas that potentially could have microbial life versus looking at what we're having on our planet right now, where we're seeing craft that are beyond our current human abilities flying around in our skies all over the place? It just doesn't make sense.
No, not to me it doesn't. You're right. They like to really try to keep the public in the dark for some reason.
Yeah, it's a disgusting point of when we're trying to get the disclosure and figure out where it is. We're dealing with all these government agencies and people involved with them, trying to go ahead and look at what's going on and deal with it in such a micro view, not understanding of what's going on. It's kind of like the stuff we've seen with SETI lately. They're saying, oh my God, the president going out there and saying that we have to go ahead and push disclosure forward is detrimental to their ability to go ahead and look for microbial life way out in the universe, in our galaxy, versus what's already here. Why do we continually, why do we continually go ahead and ignore what's in our skies, what's around us, and choose to go ahead and look to other planets, look out in far distances versus what we can actually see with our eyes?
They're trying to obfuscate the truth from the public. NASA, not a space agency.
Never a space agency, yep.
No, yeah, exactly. They're an intelligence agency. They don't want the public to know the truth, unfortunately.
Daryl, go ahead.
I was just saying, I think it's the acronym is now a spy agency.
Now,
there we go.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's true. They are a spy agency. They've been declassified. I mean, they've been changed from a civilian space agency by declaration to a intelligence or operation, right, Daryl?
Yes. That's what they did.
That is my understanding.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's clearly a mess, my friends. Wow, what a great show, Mike. What a great opportunity to go ahead and talk with our audience and go ahead and cover what's going on in the Middle East versus what's going on here in the United States for trying to bring out the truth for disclosure. We just got a super chat coming from Brian Pemble. Wait, did she say national security? Yep. No, but I made Thomas say it.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go, my friends. All right. Whoa. What's this? This is the latest video coming up. They evacuated their bases and took cover in the nearby hotels, but we know exactly which hotels we are. Is this the video you were looking for to go ahead and bring out the truth? Matt?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here we go. Boom. They're not actively going after, Mike.
Military targets.
They're going after civilian targets.
Yep. That is a 5-star resort with people in it.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow is right.
It'll be a service to humanity once they can go ahead and get the current leadership in Iran taken out.
Well, after this is all said and done, I could tell you that at least geopolitically in that region, the world will be a safer place.
Yeah.
Once it's over with.
Meanwhile, Nick Pope, who we love so much, has untreatable cancer at this point, saying on Saturdays my mom would often cook liver with bacon for lunch. We loved it. Now that liver is news again as a result of RFK's observation, what liver and cheaper cuts of steak and more are more affordable than porterhouse. What do you think of liver? Do you love it or do you loathe it, Mike?
Never been a fan of liver, Thomas. The pets love the liver, not me.
Yes, same here. I've never loved liver. It's kind of like my mom used to make beef heart stew when I was a kid. She would make liver in the oven at times and broil it and stuff. You get this smell that would come into the house that was just like, oh my God, ew. Yes, Phil, I completely agree with you. But, you know, there's certain things people have cooked when it went on. It's a comfort food, but not liver on my side, my friend.
Not mine either, Thomas.
Yes, coming from unbelievable videos coming from Iran. Absolute joy has spread throughout the streets of Iran. When these get the... There we go. People celebrating the news of Khomeini's death. This would sound like this in the United States if Trump was taken out by the Democrats, eh, Mike?
Oh, yeah. This is what you'd be hearing.
God, yeah. Absolutely. All right.
Well, hopefully Iran will be a thing of the past by the time we roll around to Monday's show.
Oh, God, yeah. We hope so, my friend. Interesting stuff out there. God, there was one thing I had in my bookmarks I wanted to bring up. Let me go scroll through all this shit that's coming from Canada, our friends up there. Mike, a huge majority of a huge section of British Columbia has been handed over to the indigenous populations. Here we go. Plus, the Public Land Use Society in Canada is hearing growing concern about the February 20th federal news released that virtually no media coverage covered it. The federal government just signed an agreement acknowledging Mesquamums, which is the Aboriginal title, within their territory covering Vancouver, Burnaby, New West, north of Vancouver, Richmond, and extensive fee simple lands. This comes as the province of British Columbia is appealing the Cowichan decision where Aboriginal title was recognized as coexisting lands held in fee simple enrichment. If courts can recognize the coexistence of title over fee simple, Ottawa is now acknowledging title by agreement. That means for private property. What does that mean for private property? Mike, what we're looking at here, if we look at the map of what's going on, Richmond, Vancouver, Burnaby, North Vancouver, Lions Bay, and etc., all within this line here is now been handed off as property of the indigenous population and not the people of Canada, which means if you own property of any of these areas of Vancouver, Burnaby, Richmond, etc., Westminster, you're screwed. This is like the apology tour on 10 times over.
So you mean to tell me this is Canada trying to do reparations to the Indian native tribes and giving them over the land?
And handing over property of this entire area within this black line to the indigenous population. Which means anybody who owns land in this area, you're fucked.
You don't own it anymore.
No.
Got screwed.
Yeah. Crazy times ahead for our friends in Canada.
The natives are going to start evicting these people living there.
Yeah, they've got a big mess going up there. No wonder Alberta wants to go ahead and say fuck you to Canada. We're done with this shit. We're getting the hell out of here.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine what would happen to the Canadian economy if Alberta leaves? Because they get a lot of their income out of Alberta.
Mike, it's not if, it's when.
Yep.
And Alberta basically provides 80% of the revenue that comes in for Canada because of all the oil that they have in their area that they're going in and bringing out of the ground. So once that comes out, we're talking about parts of Canada on the east of the country, Newfoundland, etc., all the way on the west, which are all going to suffer because all of that money that they have coming in that they're overtaxing out of Alberta is going to go away. Now, granted, 80% of the people in Canada don't want Alberta to go away, but you know what? The people in Alberta have overly expressed their wantingness to go ahead and get the hell out of Canada because of what's going on from this clearly communist government that's in control. We worry about what's going on in the UK, but right north of us in Canada, this is the bullshit that's happening. 95% coming from Delta Echo of all oil in Canada is coming out of Alberta.
Oh, that would screw what's left of Canada after Alberta leaves.
Yeah. You know what? They're going to do it. Come October this year, they'll have, every single person who signs the petition to go ahead and leave Canada, they actually need real IDs that they're going through and making sure they sign, and they can go ahead and identify these individuals. Not like in the United States when we have votes, we have referendums where people just sign their names and they believe it. In Canada, they need to identify each individual voter to identify what's going on. And you know what? Canada's going to do it. Alberta's going to do it. Next, we're going to have Quebec. Canada, as it currently stands, because of the carny leftist approach of what's going on, Canada's going to break apart, Mike.
I was just thinking that. that if this plays out according to plan, what's going to be left of that country isn't really going to be a country anymore.
It's not.
I know. It's going to break up into smaller provinces and self-govern.
Yep.
Canada as a whole will cease to exist.
And its allegiance to the crown, hopefully, will fail.
Right.
Because the crown is totally freaking corrupt. We've got the king of the United Kingdom in there who's more than not stands up for Muslims than Christians. Why? I just don't get it.
No, I don't get it either.
Yeah. On that note, Mike, I want to thank you for coming out tonight. I want to thank everybody for being part of this broadcast tonight. It's been a great show. We covered a lot of stuff on UFOs and what's going on in Disclosure. We also covered what's going on with global events. It's an interesting situation, to say the least.
Oh, yeah. Everything with the war in Iran to what's going on with Disclosure. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. This was a good episode tonight.
Can't wait to see where it goes on Monday, my friend.
Yeah, we're going to have more to talk about on Monday.
You better believe it. As we close out the show, my friends, as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, no fear, my friends, and we'll catch you in the flip side. See you Monday, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.